Hello and good evening. This is the basically monthly live stream from the Study Service Computer Science at Paderborn University. My name is Harald Selke, as you can read here. And we're doing these live streams basically every month. In fact, we have two live streams every month. One is usually at least on the first Thursday each month, and that is dedicated to our bachelor program, and that one is in German. The program is in German, and also the live stream is in German then, of course. And then we have this the second live stream, which is on the third Thursday each month, which is today for August, obviously, and that is dedicated to our master program. And because our master program is in English, and also we have lots of international students, and sometimes international students, or quite often international students, tune in here as well, while they are already studying here, or while they are considering of applying, or while they are waiting for the upcoming semesters to start, because they have already been accepted into our program. So those many students from all around the world, that's why we're doing this in English, of course. Right, so I said this is basically monthly, so we always do this at 6 p.m. German time. So right now we are still on Central European Summer Time, so that's GMT +2. From October onward, from November onwards, it will be GMT +1, so Central European Time. So you need to adjust your clocks then, but that is far ahead, so 3 months from now. But there is one important thing, and that is in September there will be no live streams because I'm taking a little time off in the next month. So we only have, that's why I say this is basically monthly, because in March and September, that's always when we take a little break with the live streams. Apart from that, every month we have these live streams here. This is meant basically for everybody who's interested in some way or form in our master program in computer science. Of course, you can always also ask questions for the bachelor program, but the other program would be more fitting for questions in that regard. So we will be talking tonight about the master program mainly, and the audience, the intended audience of this is, on the one hand, our current students, so that you know what's going on, what's happening, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we can, of course, talk about the requirements if you want to apply with us. So this is basically interesting for prospective students, or people who are considering, should I apply to Paderborn University for computer science or shouldn't I? Or are there other programs that I might consider, or are there other universities which you, of course, should not consider? Well, seriously, of course, there are other universities in Germany where you can apply as well, and I would indeed strongly recommend, when you apply, not just to apply to one university, but to several, because requirements are different at different universities, and sometimes you might be accepted into one and not accepted into the other one, because, yeah, as I said, requirements are different, at least to a certain degree. So, and the third group of students, of people who this live stream is intended for, is, of course, those students who have already applied and have hopefully already received their letters of acceptance. Of course, I can just briefly tell you, we had more than 1,000 applications for the upcoming winter semester, and we accepted around a little less than 300, like 280, or no, even less than 260 or something like that. And there's still 33 applications open, which we have not yet completely reviewed. Those final people who are still waiting for the result of their reviews, I'm sorry that it's so late, but it's just because we had so many applications that we had to dig through. So for those people, the results will also be available shortly, like probably by the end of next week at the latest. So if you have applied with us and haven't heard anything yet, you should be hearing from us very, very soon. So in general, the process when you are applying is, of course, that you need to go through UniAssist, and we can talk about that in detail, but that depends very much on who is listening right now out there, because if you're listening, then you're free to post your questions in the chat right beside this video here, of course, so I can address those questions. And if you don't ask anything, then I'll just babble ahead, and so you'll have to deal with what I'm talking about. But of course, it might be more interesting, at least, if you have any questions that you can ask them here. Of course, keep in mind that all of this is public, so don't disclose any private information here, obviously, sorry. Yeah, apart from that, everything is fine. So we didn't have any problems in the past so far with any comments because everything was in an ordinary manner here. All right. So yeah, so keep your questions coming and just post them here. And if you don't want to ask your question here or can't, or you are watching this after the fact, so the live stream is already over and you think, well, I missed it and now I see that I would have had some questions. Of course, there's lots of links below this video, some of which I will reference throughout this video, but the most important one is the one at the top below this video, and that is the one pointing to the study service, which is the part in the university, or rather in our department for the computer science program, which is responsible for taking care of you, taking care of the students. So that's our job here. We try to, basically we try to support you from not only from the start of your studies, but even before that. So from even when you are interested, when you are considering of maybe studying at Paderborn University, be it for the bachelor or for the master program, and then throughout your whole time through the application process, while you are already studying here, until you have completed your degree, and then once the final degree. By the way, there's also a very long video below this video here. In the playlist down here, where you can see what the graduation ceremony looked like this year, also of the past years, but in particular of the one from this year, so that you can already see what awaits you at the end of your of studying here with us. And only after that you kind of get rid of us at the study service. Until then, we'll always be there for you, and we have lots of different kinds of support. It's not just old men like me, but we also have 2 students who are doing the mentoring program, for example. Those are 2 students, international students themselves, and who are already studying here with us. They are in a higher semester already, so they know the things from the student perspective, and they can also support you. They will support you. But that's one important thing here in Germany, in German universities in general. You have to come forward if you have any questions and you need support. We won't come after you and tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do, but rather you should come to us and ask your questions. And that's absolutely fine, so don't be shy. I know that this is different in other cultures quite often, but you can always come to us with any questions that you have, and we won't think badly of you, so no problem at all. We welcome your questions. That's always true, and this is not just true for this live stream here with the live chat right next to this video, but also in general. So if you want to contact us, the first link below this video leads you to the study service, to the website there, and the study service is also available in person. So this is now something which is important for the students who are already here, or if you are starting in October with us, then this is something which will be relevant for you very, very soon in that case, and that is our office hours, which you also find on our website, of course, and the website link below this video, as I said. And these are the general times when we are available and the places where we are available. So just for those people who are not yet studying here with us, we have 2 campuses where the university or the computer science, basically the parts of the university are located. There's the main campus, that's the one in the southern part of the city. And quite a lot of things are going on there. And then there's a secondary campus, which is the campus Fürstenallee, it's called. And there's the F building, among others. And that's a much smaller campus. But for the master program, that's also a very important program, master program in computer science, because quite a lot of our computer science professors have their offices down here, and so do I. So that's why I am also located in the F building here. But we have we are available at both sites, at the main campus as well as at the Fürstenallee campus, only at different times. And also, please keep in mind, if you're coming right now during the semester break, we'll talk about semester times in a moment. If you're coming in the semester break, then times are different from what is listed here. So currently, we don't have any office hours on Tuesdays. So for the time being, for this month, at least until end of August, we we are only available on Mondays and Thursdays, so the Tuesday slot is not available. And the Monday one is in particular interesting for people who are studying computer engineering, because my colleague Lennart Klausing, who's the resident expert on Mondays, he is our expert for computer engineering. So if you're studying computer engineering, or if you're considering computer engineering, or if you have applied for computer engineering already, then Lennart would be the person to contact. So it would be a good idea to go there on a Monday, for example. As I said, we are always available by email as well, and there's different ways to reach us, and you'll find all the contact information with the email addresses and everything on this first website below this video. So my colleague Rita is currently on vacation, so that's why her slot is not filled in this month, but she will be available again next month. Speaking of semester times, in general, technically the semester is always on. So the winter semester is always on from 1st of October until 31st of March, and then the summer semester is always from 1st of April until 30th of September. So we are currently still in the summer semester, which runs until 30th of September, but there are no lectures right now. So there's always something which is many people call the semester break. In fact, it's not really a break. If you ask our students, they know, well, it would be nice if we had a break, but we don't. Instead, we have all the exams right now. So it's called the time when there are no lectures, the lecture-free period. And it's the lectures usually end somewhere mid-July. This year it was a little later. It was like 23rd or 24th of July, I think. 24th, I think it was the Friday. So in general, in Germany, everything runs from Mondays to Fridays. Saturday and Sunday is the weekend. So from until 24th of July, we had lectures this year. And then after that, usually it's the time when the exams take place. That might be oral exams, it might be written exams, depends on the course. And there's no general rule that everything is written or everything is oral or something like that. It depends. And the lecturer can always decide which kind of exam they will offer. Currently, because we have so many students in our master program, many of our master courses have written exams, because oral exams would simply be too time consuming for everybody. So that's why we mainly have written exams right now. That used to be different a couple of years ago when we had much less students in the master program, but that has pretty much changed. As I just said, we had 1,000 applications in this just alone for the winter semester alone, and we had like close to 700 for the last summer semester. So you can imagine that's the applications, not the people we accepted and not the people that really started studying with us, but still there's a lot of people studying here right now in our master program. We still manage, we're doing fine. We are prepared for these large groups, but it's just not a very cozy place in the sense that you have small courses with just 10 people or 5 people or something like that. Like if you would study mathematics, for example, you might be in a class where there's just one professor and 2 students or something like that in the master course at least. And we very rarely have those. There might be some exotic subjects also being taught. Usually students think that the exotic stuff is the one, other courses where there's lots of mathematics involved. But those courses are often smaller than the other ones, and there's very popular ones like machine learning courses or software engineering. We'll talk about what courses we currently have on offer also in a moment. As I said, if you have any questions, just keep them coming, and I'll address those. Usually I'll address them sooner or later. Sometimes if I'm on a train of thought, I'll ride the train until the end before I then address your questions, but no questions get lost here. So I'll try to answer everything, all the questions that you ask here. All right, so those are, as I said, semester are always running until, like right now it was until mid of 24th of July. Now is the time when, then we have until the lectures start again, which will be on 12th of October. So this is something you should already make a note for yourself, that on 12th of October lectures for the winter semester will start. and everybody should do that, either if you're studying here already or if you are only starting with us in the upcoming winter semester. So that's one of the really important dates. There will be a couple of more important dates coming up in a moment. And right now we are in the first examination phase, and we always have, after the lectures end, we have a first examination phase which lasts around 4 weeks. So it's still going on until this Friday, I think. Then after that, there is a short kind of intermission, and that's where you can register for the second phase. So if you have either not taken, if there is a course where you didn't take the exam, or you took the exam but didn't pass the exam, then you can take the exam in the second phase. So and that's perfectly fine. So even if you didn't take part in the first exam, you can just take part in the second exam. But if you fail the second exam in the second phase, the exam, then of course you'll have to wait for another year or whenever that course will be offered again. Usually, most of our courses are being offered on a yearly basis, on an annual basis. So that should be usually you'll have to wait then for almost a year until the next exam takes place. So in general, it is advised to take the first exam, but of course, if you have to take many exams, then things might get too crowded. You have too many exams in too short a period of time. And then it's usually a good idea to distribute things between those two examination phases and take some exams in the first phase, some exams in the second phase. And the registration for the second phase is always in this intermission after the first examination phase has ended. Then there's 2 weeks where you need to register, if you wish to participate, need to register for the exams in the second examination phase. And then in this case, through September, basically, most parts of September, that's another 4 weeks when we have the second examination phase. And after that, things immediately take up speed again, and we are continuing already with the winter semester then, because, as I said, that starts on 1st of October, which does not mean that the lectures start on 1st of October, but as I already said, lectures will start on 12th of October. So what happens in between? Well, some people take vacation. I don't, because in that week before that, there is one very important thing, and that is now of utmost interest for those people who plan to either to start with us in winter semester, or who started in the summer semester, so started this April, but weren't there for the start of the semester. Because what we are doing then is we are having the welcome days. And during the welcome days, there will be 2 days with lots of information for our new master students. So it's really 2 days which are, well, you will be quite well informed after it, if you took part at least. But it will also be lots of information. And of course, there will be things that you will not remember afterwards, but that's okay, because, as I said, we won't leave you alone after the welcome days. We're still there for you. The study service is there. The mentoring program is there. So our student mentors are there for you. And also the Fachschaft, which is the Students' Council, which are also students from higher semesters, from all different kinds of semesters, bachelor students and master students. They are also there for you. And of course, the lecturers you can talk to, and so on and so forth. So you won't be alone after that. But still, I would strongly recommend take part in those welcome days, and they will be on the 7th and 8th of October. So if you are planning to start with us in this winter semester, so start studying with us from October onwards, try to do your best and be here at latest on the evening of the 6th of October, and then come to visit us on the 7th of October and the 8th, of course, then again for the welcome days. The program in detail will be communicated to you. You can already find the link here on this slide, but it's also below this video, the link to the welcome days. Currently, if you click on there, you can get an impression of what the welcome days looked like when we had them last April. So it's not yet updated for the upcoming welcome days, but we'll do that shortly. So they will soon be updated. but I can already promise you they are on the 7th and 8th of October, and they will start in the morning at 9:30. And everything else, the rooms where you have to go to, and everything you will find on this website then. So, as I said, I strongly recommend going there because that is your best start into the master program. Because maybe most important of all, you will meet other students who will be starting together with you. It's not just computer science students, there will also be students from computer engineering, from electrical systems engineering, from optoelectronics and photonics. So that's quite a mixed group, but most of the students, the largest group, by far largest group, is from computer science. You will meet international students, so the ones who are coming from all over the world, basically. And you will also meet local students who have studied here at Paderborn, and you will meet other students who are not local but not international. So like German students who come to us from other German universities. So they have done their bachelor somewhere else, and they're coming now to Paderborn to do their master here with us. So all of those people are invited for those welcome days, and we'll introduce you to all things you need to know. As I said, you don't have to remember everything after this because there will be lots of support opportunities, but you will, and that's one of the other important things, not just meet other students, you will also meet some of the people you might have to deal with when you're studying here with us, like, for example, myself. But also the people from the international office, for example, people who are doing some organizing stuff in the university, people who teach language courses might be there. So lots of different people who you can meet there, so that you have at least get a little bit of an impression of who else is there. Then, of course, you learn about the peculiarities of studying in a German university and at Paderborn University in particular. Because you might have heard about it, Germans are good at making up rules and things like that. And so there are certain things that you just need to be aware of. Like, for example, there are certain deadlines that you have to adhere to. And there are lots of different aspects. Of course, we'll also talk about what the program looks like. We can do that in a moment here as well. Of course, I can give you a short overview at least, but we will do that much more in detail during the welcome days. And then we'll have separate sessions for the different programs. As I said, in general, the welcome days is addressing students from computer science, computer engineering, electrical systems engineering, and optoelectronics and photonics. And we will then, in the afternoon, we will then split up the group, and we will make individual sessions in parallel for the different programs. So there will be one program which I will be doing basically, where you learn all about the special things you need to know for the computer science program. And of course, we will be talking about how to plan your first semester here. So because this is also quite important that you, on the one hand, you need to learn already or get at least a little bit of an idea what you should do during your first semester, what you need to do in general to reach your degree in the end, of course, but also what you need to do in the first semester. In general, the good news here is there's not much to worry about. There's still some things you might want to consider, and we can give you tips and hints and everything. But there's nothing you can basically do really wrong, very little things that you can really do wrong in your first semester. And one of the things you can do wrong is to try and do too much, which is something we wouldn't strongly recommend against, and we'll also be talking about those things there as well. Because you have to keep in mind, you will be studying, if you're coming from a different country at least, you will be studying in a foreign country. Things are different here. You will need to get used to living in Germany, for example. And you will need to, as I said, deal with the peculiarities of studying in the German system. And of course, it might be simply unfamiliar to you, the way things in Germany work in general, and in the university in particular, of course. And of course, you're away from home, and most of you probably have not been that far away from home at any time, at least not for a really long time. Yeah, that's all sorts of things you have to deal with when moving to a different country. So if you take that step, this is something you should also consider. Take that step of traveling halfway around the world and then start kind of start a new life somewhere else. Not completely new life, but in parts at least it is something like a new life, I guess. And then you need to consider that this also puts some kind of stress on you. So also don't make sure that you don't try to achieve too much in your first semester here with us. Of course, we will show you around the campus so that you know how to navigate the campus, how to find the lecture halls, how to find all the other important institutions that are at the university, which includes, of course, also the what we call the Mensa, which is the place where you get your food, or you can get your food at least, which is pretty decent, I think, and lots of variety there and good food indeed, I would say. And so you get to know how not to starve in Germany or at the university, because you need something to eat, of course. And also our mentors, for example, as I already said, they are international students themselves. They can also give you tips, for example, where to go shopping if you are desperately craving for food from your home country, especially if you are from India, because our mentors are from India as well. So they can give you lots of ideas where you can get good Indian food, for example, or ingredients for cooking yourself to prepare Indian food as you like the food to be. There are also Indian restaurants out there, of course, but you can't always go into a restaurant. And also, I guess that German Indian food is quite a bit different from real Indian food. So there will always be a difference, because Germans simply would probably not be able to digest all the Indian food in all its hotness, depending on the part of India, of course. Right, so to sum it up, welcome days, 7th and 8th of October, and strongly recommended be there for the welcome days. So when you make a travel arrangement, try and be here at latest by the evening of the 6th of October, ideally maybe even a little earlier than that. And once you are here, then you can come to the welcome days. If for whatever reason you can't be there on for the welcome days, please contact us immediately. If you're starting with us in winter semester, always assuming that, of course, please contact us immediately once you are here in Germany, once you arrive at Paderborn, and then we'll make the contact between you and our mentors, and then our mentors will take care of you and will give you all the information that you have missed during the welcome days. But as I said, it's much more fun and much more interesting, and it's much easier for everybody, and it's, I think, also better for you if you do it in a group with all the others together, because then, as I said, you can already bond with some of the other students, and that's very, very important as well, because you should not try to come to Germany to study here just by yourself and not meet any other people, but really try to get into contact with other people, and that should be much more fun and much more productive as well. So that's what I would strongly recommend. All right. So that's the most important thing for the upcoming winter semester, the welcome days that are ahead of us. Right, so I'm just skipping through some of my slides, because next thing I would like to talk about, as I said, if there's any questions, ask them here, and I'll try to answer those questions. But otherwise, I would just continue, and I would continue with some information on the general study structure that we have, and then maybe some hints already if you are assuming, for example, you have been accepted for the winter semester and you're planning to come in October, and you're thinking, what can I do right now? The good news, first of all, is you don't have to bother. You don't have to worry about anything right now. So if you're just here by the 7th of October in the morning at 9:30, then everything should be good, and everything else can be sorted out then. So you don't need to prepare in any way for studying here. Of course, you need to make sure that you have accommodation, for example, or at least do your best. Unfortunately, we can't help you with accommodation. That's something we simply can't do. But of course, I think it's obvious that you need some kind of accommodation, and maybe it's just a temporary accommodation, but I hope that everybody of you will be able to find good accommodation as soon as possible. But as I said, unfortunately, we can't help you with that. We're simply not allowed to, because we are no brokers for flats or apartments or whatever. We simply can't do that. So regarding your study program, there's not much to worry about right now. As I said, you don't have to plan anything ahead, but I guess then you might still want to at least get some information of what lies ahead, and that's what I would like to talk about right now. As I said, you don't have to worry about those things, because all of those things we will be dealing with during the welcome days. But if you are already curious, because you're saying, I'll be starting in October and I want to know what will be coming up to me, whatever. So that's what this next segment is meant to be. As I said, if there's questions, please ask them. All right. So our course program, I should first of all say that we have a very, very open program. So our master program is designed in a way, and this is quite unusual. This is, in fact, I think not many, if any other university at all does that in Germany in this way. But we decided here to make our master program very open, which means that there is no compulsory subjects at all. So, and this is why we have quite a rigid process when we review the applications, because we simply say, we expect that everybody has a certain background, and that's kind of a given for us. Every student who comes here needs to have a certain background, and we try to do our best to check that, and that's why we have this rigid selection process before you come here, because we are assuming then that you have the appropriate knowledge. Of course, we don't really know what you know, because we don't do any exams with you. The only thing that we do is we check your transcripts, and we are assuming that if you had, like, for example, 4 mathematics courses, like calculus and linear algebra and numerics or differential equations and statistics, probability theory, things like that, that you have a good enough background in mathematics. Same goes for theoretical computer science. We're assuming you know quite a bit about algorithms, about algorithm design, about algorithm analysis. You know things about complexity theory. You know things about computability theory. You know what a Turing machine is, of course. You know the Cook-Levin theorem, for example. You know what NP-complete problems are, and you know how to prove that a problem is NP-complete, for example. We're assuming that you have good knowledge in at least one programming language, preferably more than one programming language, that you are at least familiar with, for example, object-oriented programming, but also with more kind of low-level stuff, like, for example, operating systems, like computer networking, for example, but also with computer architecture, and we're also assuming that there is at least a certain background in databases and programming languages I already mentioned, and things like that. So this is something that we check before you come here, and then judging from your transcript, we are assuming that you know those things. And we might be wrong, because the transcript shows, yes, this person seems to have all that knowledge, but you for yourself know, I wasn't really that good in that subject, I'm not really confident. And that's kind of like, that risk is kind of like on your side then, of course. And in that case, you'll probably have a lot of work to do, because you have to catch up with all those things that we assumed you already knew, but which now you find out suddenly when you come into a course that the lecturers are expecting that you know certain things. Like, for example, if you go into cryptography course and there's a certain cryptographic method, for example, then you would be able to analyze that method, for example. And if you can't, well, then you have to learn how to do that. And then you have to learn that by yourself, because that's not part of the course, because everybody here expects that you already know those things, for example, or know the techniques at least, how to do these things. Of course, you don't know the exact method, cryptographic method, otherwise we wouldn't teach that again in the master program, of course. So there are no compulsory subjects, but instead you can decide with almost total freedom what you want to study. The only thing you need to do is you have to take at least 9 courses. You have to complete at least 9 courses, so successfully complete at least 9 courses from those things that we call the focus areas right over here. And those focus areas that's just kind of an organizing thing. So you don't have to worry about those focus areas too much. They're basically just kind of splitting our catalog into different areas so that you get an idea what roughly where roughly the topic is located. And some you will find when we'll talk about the individual courses, you'll find that some of those courses belong to more than one area, because I've just mentioned cryptography, for example. Cryptography, for example, is a course which is in classical and quantum algorithm design, because it's got something to do with algorithm design. In particular, we have a course on quantum cryptography, in fact, so that is definitely in there. But of course, that's also a part of security, because cryptographic methods are an important part in security. So that would be a course which is in those 2 focus areas, for example. Anyways, so they're just kind of like organizing the catalog for you a little bit. And you have to take in total 9 courses from those 5 different areas. The only restriction there is that you can't take all 9 courses from one area, but you wouldn't do that anyway. So I've never met a student who did that. So that's technically no real restriction there. Apart from that, you can, for example, decide, I want to go all in one area. Like, for example, I want to do lots of, for example, computer and communication systems, and then you go right into that area and then take lots and lots and lots of courses there. You might also say, yes, I'm a little bit interested in 2 different areas, so computer and communication systems and security, for example. And then you might take 4 courses from one area and 5 from the other, for example, or 3 and 6, or whatever. But you could also, that's kind of like the other extreme, you could also say, well, I'm interested in all of those things, and I want to know a little bit about everything. And then you're not a specialist in one particular area afterwards, but you're kind of a generalist. So you can put things together from different areas, which is also a very sought after qualification. And then you could take, for example, 2 courses from each area. Well, technically then you have already taken 10 courses, which you are also allowed to do. You can take up to 14 courses, in fact, but you have to complete 9, so you would at least have to complete 4 areas, 2 each, and in the 5th area then just 1 course, for example. And then you know a little bit about everything, which is also fine. That's your decision, and you don't have to decide before you start. In fact, you don't have to decide at any point in time. You can just study ahead and then see how things work out. And should you at some point have 3 courses completed in one of those focus areas, and then decide that you also want to write your master's thesis in exactly that area, then you'll get that even stamped on your final certificates, and then we say, yes, this person is a specialist in, for example, computer and communication systems, or in security, or in whatever. But that requires, you don't have to specialize, but you can specialize in that way, and then you have a kind of, on your master certificate, there's an additional entry there that says Master of Computer Science, specialized in name of the focus area. But you don't have to. If you don't specialize in any area because you have no area with at least 3 courses, or you decided not to do your master's thesis in an area where you have 3 courses completed, then you're just Master of Computer Science, which is fine as well. So lots of choices there. And as I said, you don't have to decide anything in advance. So maybe you come here and already have an idea and say, yeah, I want to do data science and intelligent systems. Data science is my thing. And then you come here and then you find out, well, I didn't know that security can be so interesting, or computer and communication systems can be so interesting. And then maybe you go into, you decide to take some courses there, and then your interest might shift over time. And that's perfectly fine. And that's what makes our program, in my view at least, makes our program a little bit special. because you don't have to decide beforehand. You can just roll along with what you find interesting. And then at some point in time, of course, you should decide what you want to do. But that can kind of like develop over time, and you don't have to decide at any point explicitly. You don't ever have to tell us, for example, I've decided now to go into that direction. And even if you would, you could always change your mind and do something different after that. So no problem at all. I said there are no compulsory courses, but there are in fact compulsory course types. And those course types are the first one is called the key skills, which consists basically of a seminar. There's also a small lecture attached to that. The lecture is therefore bringing your attention to how to work scientifically, because we have discovered that many of our students are not too familiar with how to correctly work scientifically, write scientific papers, for example, how to reference other sources that you are building on, because you don't even invent everything new, but usually you're standing on the shoulders of giants and you have to credit those giants for their work. And there's certain ways how to do that. And this is something which is being taught to you in this lecture, Scientific Work. So that's an accompanying lecture for the seminar. And then you have to take part in a seminar. And the seminar, again, as I said, you have to take part in a seminar, but that's just the form of the course. So it's a seminar course. And in the seminar, you will be the one talking and not us. So not the lecturers will do the talking. So we kind of switch the roles, and then you have to present something. You have to write a seminar paper, a scientific paper, basically, on a smaller scale than the master's thesis, but it's a preparation for the master's thesis, and that's why you should do it before you write your master's thesis, obviously. And then you'll have to write a scientific paper, and also you will have to present that in the seminar then. But the topic is not something we tell you that you need to do. But instead, there will be lots of different topics available, lots of different topic areas available. And then you say, well, this is the one I would like best, second best, third best, and so on and so forth. And then we'll go through, you can make a grading. And because seminars have limited numbers of participants, it might be that too many people want to go into the same seminar, and then there will be a distribution process, and then you might only get your second or third choice. But you will get one seminar seat in any case. That's what we always manage to do, at least. And then within that seminar, so you still decide in which area you want to do that. Like, for example, it might be a seminar which is closely related to algorithm design. It might be something which is closely related to security or whatever. So no problem there. And the same goes for the project group. In the project group, you work for 1 year on one topic in a team. And that's, basically it's a kind of like it's software. Usually it's some kind of software development project that you're doing. The group has to very much organize itself. So this is like a real software development process that you would do otherwise outside in a company, for example, but you'll do that here within the university. And then you work over 1 year with the same team of people together. And and at the end, there will be some kind of presentation where you have a completed project, hopefully. And all those things should prepare you for the master's thesis, and there's also which you have to write at the end. And there will be something like general studies. General studies is something where you can do things or have to do things that are not from computer science. And for international students, usually this means you can take language courses. So if you take language courses, like for example German language courses, which you're not required to do, but we strongly recommend doing that, and then when you take those language courses, they will also be credited towards those general studies, and so you'll have that as part of your master's degree as well. All right, so there is a question right now. Can I move a course that I took in one focus area to another focus area after passing if it is available in both focus areas? It only shows up in one area in my Leistungskonto. Yes, you can do that. That's no problem at all. So if we have certain, as I just mentioned, we have certain courses which are in more than one focus area, and then you can you pick them when you pick it, the module or the course. then you decide where to put it, into which of those focus areas that are available for that course, and then it's booked there. But you can, at any point in time, you can move that around. So usually I would not recommend doing that until the very last minute. So kind of like when you're preparing for registering your master's thesis, that's the point when you should rethink whether you wouldn't want to move something around, because otherwise you would move it around to one area, to another area, and then 4 weeks later you decide, well, I'd rather have it in another area, and then another 4 weeks, well, it was a wrong decision and I want to move it back again. So there's not much sense in doing that. So I would strongly recommend just keeping that until the very last minute, so like very shortly before you want to register your master's thesis. That's the point in time when you should go to the exam management. Simply write an email to the exam management and tell them, I took this course in that focus area, but I'd like to have it in the other focus area, and then they move it around and everything is good to go. So no problem at all. You can easily do that. Yes, no problem at all. All right. So as I said, you need to pick 9 modules in total. So 9 modules courses is, for all intents and purposes for tonight at least, is the same thing. And my strong recommendation would be, don't overthink these things too much. Just pick according to your interest. So look into the course catalog. We'll talk about the course catalog in a moment. Look into the course catalog and then decide what is interesting for you. And then you'll go into those courses. And as I said, not all 8 may be from the same focus area, but still you can take additional modules, so that you can in fact take more than 9 modules, only that from one area, but at the end you need to shift something around so that you have a maximum of 8 from one focus area and at least 1 from another area, because as I said, you can switch things around after the fact, also between the modules that count towards your grade and additional modules. You can study up to I think 5 additional modules, 4 additional modules. No, 5 additional modules, it says down here on the slide. 5 additional modules, and then there's 4 modules that may be deregistered even after you have passed them, so nothing to worry about. Basically, you won't be able to kick yourself out of the program due to these kinds of things. There are other ways to kick yourself out of the program, but not by choosing the wrong modules, I would say. The important thing is here, pick according to your interest. So if you think that course is interesting, then take it. And if you think that course is boring, then don't take it. That's the most important criterion. And it's much more important than thinking, that might be something that I want, that might help me find a job later on. There's one point here I should say, although that contrasts this a little bit, and that is, you might find that quite a lot of students try to go into the same courses. There are certain courses what everybody is interested in, which I can understand to a certain amount. Like, for example, many of our students go into machine learning because everybody thinks machine learning is very important. But, of course, and that's okay. But if you take many courses in, for example, data science and intelligent systems, which is the focus area where machine learning belongs to, and then you take plenty of courses there, but you don't take any courses in, like, for example, classical and quantum algorithm design, and not in computer and communication systems, and maybe only very limited ones in software engineering, and very limited ones in security. And then you have almost completed everything, and now you're looking for a master's thesis. But unfortunately, there have been very many students who have been studying those exact 3 areas where you focused on, of those 5 focus areas. In the example I've just given, which is a fictitious example, obviously, that many people that you studied basically only from 3 focus areas, and then there are many other people who also studied exactly the same 3 focus areas, and then you are competing with like 100 other people for master's theses in those three areas. And there are other areas, like, for example, as I said, fictitious example, like, for example, in classical and quantum algorithm design, and also in computer and communication systems. And there are lots of theses available, but there's no one going there. And you, of course, at that point in time can't go there as well, because if you never took a course in computer and communication systems, for example, then you will not be able to write a thesis there, because if everybody who has just a little bit of knowledge from any area in computer science would be able to write a master's thesis there, that would be a bit strange. So you need to have at least some knowledge in that area. Obviously, you can't go into an area where you have never done any work before to write your master's thesis there. And when you have to compete with many other people, then of course the problem is that the number of theses available is somewhat limited. There's no hard number, of course, but there will be a point when though the people who can supervise theses are simply are full. They can't do any more theses because there are already so many people that they are supervising the thesis. So this is something to consider. Also, maybe not try to just go into the most popular courses, but also maybe pick some of the other courses, because they are interesting as well. It might not be at the first glance that you say, that's interesting to me as well. For example, if I were you, I have no idea about quantum algorithms, I have to admit. I don't know anything about quantum computing. But if I were you, I would today, at least, take at least one course in quantum computing, just to know what this is about, because it might become important in the future. Maybe it will never become important, we don't know, but it might become important. And because it's such a, I think, at least from my understanding, it's such an interesting and different thing, it's so different from everything else, that this might be something of interest to you. So just one thing to consider, and yeah, ultimately it's you to decide. And of course, as I said, we are there to give you hints and to support you. And if you don't know where to go and what to decide, and if your plans are good ideas, or what we think about your plans, then, as I said, you can always come to us and we can talk about those things and find out what might be the right choice for you. Because what might be the right choice for you might not be the right choice for somebody else. All right. Currently taking a course with assignments count 30% into the final exam grade. Yeah. Yep. This is something some people do, that, and from what I've learned, most students like that idea, because usually the traditional method in German universities is in fact not this, but the other way around, that everything just depends on the day when you write the exam. So this is the deciding day, so to speak. So judgment day. So you sit there and you have to do the exam, and either you pass or you fail. And many students in the past have asked us if, in particular international students, by the way, have asked us if that couldn't be done differently. And that's why some people now do these things. Of course, so that you already kind of can relax the conditions that are required for passing the exam. Of course, if you still get usually the 50%, so if you get 35 points in the exam, then you should still pass. I guess that's the way they will do it in this course. So usually it's 50%, and there's very rarely reasons why not to have this 50% rule. So 35, and you can of course still do nothing with the assignments, and then assuming there's no course achievement, which is a different topic, of course, but as long as you can take part in the exam and you have those, like as I said, 35 points in the exam, then you're good to go, and you have passed without having done a single exam. But of course, if you already prepared during the semester, and that's the idea behind this, and then this is kind of credited, you kind of achieve or kind of accumulate some kind of credit. So that in this case, obviously, it seems that there are 30% of the grade is already there. 30% and 20 to 70, yeah, maybe it's right. Would have to recalculate. Probably it is. So if you the better you were in the assignments, the less you have to manage in the final exam, which is not a bad idea, I think. I guess it's quite well. So if you don't perform well in the assignments, you cannot get a perfect grade in the exam. No, don't see that from here, because this is just talking about that you need just 20 of 70 to pass the exam, but you should still be able to reach the full 70 points in the exam. Or is it that you have a total of 100 points that you need, and 30 of those points are already given by the assignments beforehand? So that would be a different story. I was thinking that the idea is you can still reach the 70%. The 70 points, and 70% would then be the best grade. Or is it that you have 100 points in total, and 30 of those points are going into the 30 of those points are already kind of given beforehand, so that you can really only get up to 70 points there. That would be something different. Yes, this is in fact something which is not in the Prüfungsordnung. Prüfungsordnung does not regulate in detail how the grading of exams can look like. There are different ways that these can be done. Okay, total of 100 points. There is field of for the grader on the exam where the assignments points are noted. Okay, so that's different then. All right, yeah. Okay, I'll have to admit I don't know if that is legally possible. I'm not sure about that. I don't know any, from the brim of my hat, I don't know, not wearing one, I don't know whether there's anything that would prohibit this. I don't think there is anything that would prohibit this, but there might be some regulations which are outside of the university, which have said that, like, for example, court decisions or something like that, which have in general decided that these kinds of exams are not allowed. I can't say for sure. So if you are really completely unhappy with that, then you would have to file a complaint with us. You can do that. Simply file a complaint to the examination committee, Prüfungsausschuss, that is, and you could file a complaint with them, and then they would have to deal with that. So that would be the official way to clarify these situations like these. And that's absolutely fine. You can do that, and if you don't want to do that in person because you think that some negative vibrations might come from that, usually you don't have to worry about that. But if you are afraid of that, then you could go through the Fachschaft, the Students' Council, because they can work as kind of like an anonymizer, like a proxy for you. So you could tell them, talk to them, and then they could take that complaint to the examination committee. And because they are doing that by definition of their kind of job. It's not a job that they have at the university. They're volunteers, everybody, but it's kind of their role. And so everybody in the examination committee would know that it's not them personally doing something for themselves, but instead they are kind of like trying to protect other students or to clarify things for other students. So that's why you could go through the Fachschaft, the Students' Council. That might be a good idea if you don't want to do it yourself to file that complaint. Then the Fachschaft could then just address The examination committee, Professor Scheidler is the head of the examination committee, and then you can they could follow that path and clarify everything to see if that is okay. So that would be my suggestion. But as I said, you can also do it yourself. Usually, it's not much of a problem if when you do it yourself, because we usually accept that there are differing interests, and it's a perfectly normal thing. So we won't be judging you and saying that student is. We don't want to see that student again because he had critical questions or something like that. That's not the way we work here at the university. So usually it's really absolutely okay, as long as you are do it on a factual basis and everything. Of course, you should not shout at a lecturer or something like that. But apart from that, everything is okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's stick with that one. I think you've got some bonus points already. 34 instead of 30. Not impacted negatively, but other future students might be. Yeah, if you're just interested in that and trying to clarify that, I would suggest maybe contacting the Fachschaft, the Students' Council, and then they might bring up that topic so that we could clarify that before any other complaints come up, and just to check if it's really legal to do that. That would be perfectly fine. So absolutely. So yeah. Just that would, in that case, that would really be my suggestion. Go through the Students' Council and talk to them, and I guess they would pick that up, and they would not say, well, we don't want to do that, but I guess they would pick that up, and then that is something that the examination committee can discuss. I can also do that, but I think it would be a good idea if it comes from the student side. Yeah, I think that would be the proper way. I think I can also do it, but I think the better way would be if it comes from the student side. That would be my suggestion here. If for some reason the Fachschaft says no, we want to deal with that, you can always send me an email, and then I will do that. I would also not tell who you are, of course, in that case. So there's still the anonymizing function is still available there as well. All right. I wanted to know if the grades of the general studies courses like German count towards the full grade. No, they don't. We have removed the general studies completely from the grading. So you can absolutely relaxed go into those courses, and whatever grade you achieve there, it's absolutely fine. And the general studies is always ungraded, so that makes things much more convenient, I think. And it's much easier for us because in the past we had kind of a mixture. There were courses that were graded and some were ungraded, and it was always a mess. And so we decided to simply drop the grades from the general studies. General studies is really there for widening your horizon, just deal with something else. You don't have to take language courses, by the way. You can also go into a mathematics course or psychology or history or whatever you like. So everything's possible there. The only restriction we have is you can't do computer science in that. So you can't pick another computer science course as part of your general studies. That's not allowed, because we really want that you go somewhere else and learn something about the world outside computer science. Yep. All right. Good. Okay. So there's. I would like to wrap things up shortly. Not quite yet, but sooner or later. There's another question coming up there. Just a second, and then, as I said, sooner or later I'll wrap up here. But what I want to do beforehand is want to talk a little bit, at least, about the course program for the upcoming winter semester, so that you know what's coming up there. For the upcoming COMO exam, how is it evaluated, and how do they assign us to the course? Do you mean the grading for the project groups and the seminars? Is that what you mean by the COMO exam? Because COMO exam sounds a little strange to me, because COMO is general. It's for the people not in the know, Como is a platform that we're using, which is mainly there for kind of organizing stuff and things like that. For cooperation things, that's what the KO stands for in German. Cooperation is spelled with a K at the beginning. It's not used, not in the strict sense used for courses. So where we have to take exams in and so on and so forth. That's not on the Como platform. That's the Panda platform we use for those things. That's maybe you can clarify. Do you mean the seminars and the project groups and that assignment there? While waiting for the answer, I just assume that you are thinking about those things. Basically, for the people who are offering a seminar or a project group, they will kind of prepare kind of a little test. The idea is basically the following. For Deutsch, for German language. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I can't tell you anything about those German language tests. But basically, the idea is that if you want, the important thing is that you might already have some German language knowledge, or you might not. But the idea is, because there are German language courses on different levels, like A1, A2, B1, B2, and so on and so forth. All kinds of courses there. And of course, if you already, we sometimes have students who already are on level, say A2, for example. And of course, we don't want to, or we, meaning the people who are doing the language courses, which is not us, and this is done by a different part of the university. And of course, it would not make any sense to put someone who is already on level A2 to put them into an absolute beginner course like A1. That wouldn't just make much sense because, well, yeah, okay, you can spend your time there, but you wouldn't learn anything. And the idea behind the language courses is, of course, that you really learn something. So what they basically do is they take a test, or you take a test. They give a test to you. Just to place you in the right course. That's basically so that you are in a course where you are not, where the level is not too low, but also not too high for you. That's all this Como test is about. It's just to put you into the right kind of course. And even then, if after the fact it turns out that you just had a bad day, for example, and you in fact know much more German already than it seemed at the first test, or the other way around, of course, then you can still be talk to the lecturer of that German language course, and they will shift you into another course. Then you simply swap courses. So that's really very, very simple there. So really nothing to overthink at this point. So simply just that you are kind of like in the right course, a course where you are not on where the level fits your previous knowledge. That's basically the idea of this. That's all. All right. Then the upcoming winter semester. As I said, we have these 5 focus areas. And within those 5 focus areas, there are lots of courses available. And the courses which are in boldface here are the ones which will be offered next winter semester. And you can see here, like for example, in classical and quantum algorithm designs, we have 4 courses that will be offered. That's advanced distributed algorithms and data structures. That's a course you will see quite a lot of times right now, because this is in fact in 4 of the 5 focus areas. So you'll see that again and again and again. And as we already discussed earlier, you can move it around after the fact. So nothing to worry about yet. So, but it's kind of like a general tool that you can use basically everywhere. Then we have geometric deep learning, we have introduction to quantum computation, and post-quantum cryptography. So you can see 2 quantum courses here, and I already said, I think today I would take at least one of those. Maybe introduction to quantum computation, maybe post-quantum cryptography, I don't know, depends on your interests, of course. If you want to know a little bit more about those things, by the way, these or any other courses, or if you already want to get a little bit of an impression of our lecturers, you should check out the shorts section in this on this channel here, because there we have Faces of Computer Science, and there you'll meet like currently have like 10 or so lecturers, 10 of our professors who present themselves with very short videos and talk a little bit about their, it's a short of course, and talk a little bit about what they are doing in their courses or in their research. And that might already give you an idea what people are doing, so that you don't know just the titles of the courses, but also a little bit more information. If you want to dig really deep, of course, you can also go to the Modulhandbuch, the module handbook, which is also linked below this video. And there you'll find detailed course descriptions there. But as I said, you don't have to worry about those things if you're studying in October. No need to check those things out right now. But if you are interested, you can find more detailed descriptions in those module handbooks. All right. So those are the courses we have on offer in classical and quantum algorithm design. Then we have the computer and communication systems focus area, and there you can see we have advanced computer architecture, advanced distributed algorithms and data structures, model-based systems engineering, reconfigurable computing, and resource-efficient AI architectures and methodologies. That's the next one. I just have to check one little thing right now. Just a second. There is one thing I wanted to check. Yeah, that's exactly the information I was looking for. The resource-efficient AI course, by the way, is a brand new course, which has never been offered before. So this also might be something of interest to you. By the way, we will have 3 new lecturers for the upcoming winter semester. One is in fact kind of an old lecturer. He was here a couple of years ago, went to another university, and is now returning to us. And we have 2 completely new professors who are here for the first time at our university. And there will be at least 2 more courses will be offered in our master program, as of current at least, but I don't have all the details there yet. So those courses which will be coming up are still missing from this list here. So it's always a good idea to recheck the course catalog, which is, by the way, also linked below this video. The course catalog, it's the PAUL system, and then you go into course catalog, and there you find all the detailed information, all the overview of the courses which will be offered. Those brand new courses, by the way, are not yet documented in the module handbook, so it's kind of like a box of chocolates. So you'll only discover what's inside when you go there. There will be information available, but it's not yet out. Yeah, sorry for that. Right, then we have our courses in data science and intelligent systems, and there you can see again, advanced distributed algorithms and data structures is one of them, foundations of knowledge graphs, machine learning 1, and topics in signal processing, which is not offered by a professor from our department, but from electrical engineering, but nonetheless, it's also being offered in the computer science program. Then we have the focus area security, and there we have, again, the advanced distributed algorithms and data structures. This is kind of like, as I said, just a universal weapon. You can use it basically everywhere, with one exception, and that's the one coming up, the software engineering area. Then we have agentic software engineering, also a new course, has never been offered before, but I think it's obvious why we are offering a course like that right now. Then we have designing code analysis for large-scale software systems. We have human factors in security and privacy. We have introduction to quantum computation. We have post-quantum cryptography, and we have real-world crypto engineering. Post-quantum cryptography is also something we already discussed, and introduction to quantum computation as well in the classical and quantum algorithm focus area. And then finally, there is the software engineering focus area, software engineering, and there we have agentic software engineering. Again, obviously the name fits in both of those areas. The one we already had before. Oh, I put it into security. Agentic software engineering is not part of in security. It's part of data science and intelligence systems. I'm sorry for that. I put that in the wrong area, I'm afraid. Then we have designing code analysis for large-scale software systems, which is, as I said, security, obviously. Designing the code analysis you do basically because you are trying to find software vulnerabilities, but it's of course also software engineering. Then we have human factors and security and privacy. We have model-based systems engineering, and we have software architecture, design, and recovery. So those are the 5 areas that we always have, and those are the courses that we will have available in the upcoming winter semester. I'm just checking one more thing here. Because I'm just wondering if there is an error in our, the error was on my slides, or if the error was on our, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe the error is in our course catalog, and I'll have to correct that. So it's good that we're talking about those things, because, yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Should not be in that area, I guess. I'll have to check that. Right. So maybe there is something wrong in our course catalog. Good that we're checking those things in our live stream here. All right. So basically, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. As I said, we're having these live streams here basically on a monthly basis. So unfortunately not in September, or fortunately maybe, because I'll be taking a couple of days off. The next one will then be in October again. That would be the 20th of October, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think it's the 15th. 15th of October, sorry. The 15th of October is the 3rd Thursday in October, because 1st of October is the first Thursday in October, not just the 1st of October, but also the first Thursday of October. And then 15th of October will be the 3rd Thursday in October. So that will be when we do our live stream for the master program. The next live stream for the bachelor program will then, of course, be on the 1st of October. And we'll announce that once this live stream has ended. I'll already announce the next one. And for the one in October, I will announce that the one on the 15th of October, I will announce once the 1st of October live stream has broadcast. So you'll always find the information. You'll find the information. You don't just have to listen to me, but you always find the next live stream, which will be available either for the bachelor or the master program on here on this YouTube channel, of course. So just check this channel out, or maybe you want to subscribe it or hit this bell notification so that you know that something might be coming up, and then you know that there might be maybe something of interest to you. Yeah, so apart from that, as I said, lots of information in the links below this video, so check them out and see what's in there. And if you wish to contact us in between, so while we're not doing any broadcasts here, not any live streams here, during that time, of course, you can always send us an email. Please use the address on the study service website. Please use the first email address given there. And please do not use my email address, but rather the one which is listed. It's the first link, the first email address you'll find on the study service website, because those requests go into a ticketing system. And that ticketing system is being read by all the members of our study service team, not just by me, whereas the other address is only being read by me, which means that if I'm on vacation, for example, you'll have to wait longer for a reply, whereas if you send it to the study service address, then you'll usually get a reply much quicker. Also, sometimes things take a couple of times, take a little bit of time. Always depends on what kind of request there is and how much else we have to do, because we already said that we had very many applications for the winter semester, but we also receive many many requests through the ticket system. So that there's also quite a few things to do. Just today, and also we sometimes have other work to do. Like, for example, yesterday I had to grade exams, so yesterday I couldn't do anything with tickets, so I had to work through tickets for the last couple of days, because also the day before that I couldn't work on any tickets. So just today I closed like 20 tickets, and some of them are quick, but some really need quite a bit of work. And I've got another two lying here which require quite a bit of work. So sometimes also your request might take a little time. Usually we try to do our best to do it as quickly as possible, but sometimes things take a little longer, and in particular they take a little longer when we have to ask somebody else and wait for their replies. Then that might slow things down. But if you think you have sent us a ticket, you send us an email, and you think that we are too slow in responding, of course, you can always send another email by replying to the ticket, please. Leave the ticket number intact in the send it to the ticket system, not to this to the study service address. In that case, which is the same thing, by the way. But send it to the just reply to the mail you got as a response from our ticketing system, and leave the ticket number intact in the subject, so that we know that that request refers to a certain ticket, and that makes work much easier for us. And then if you have the feeling that we are taking too long for resolving a ticket, then of course you can send us another email and say, well, there was this request. How's it going? Is anything happening, or has it been lost in time and lost in space? Which it hopefully hasn't. All right. Right, that's it from the Study Service of Computer Science at Paderborn University, and I'll see you either in a couple of weeks again, like in beginning of October, mid of October, in this live stream again, or maybe if you are studying here with us in the master program, maybe I'll see you during the welcome days, or I'll see you during our office hours if you are already studying here with us and you have some kind of questions or whatever. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and have a good time, and enjoy the summer. At least here in Germany we have summer, and in other parts of the world, depending on where you are living, maybe there's not summer. But anyways, just enjoy your time. Bye-bye.